way to get between point A and point B is a straight line. Not a big arc, not dropping in and drifting out. So my start point is that green cone, and it's systematic. Why did I put the green cone there? Well, number one, Stormy said it, and I believe in what Stormy's doing. But number two, where I start my race is going to dictate how I get up into that first barrel. I don't want to ride too straight to it. I don't want to get into it too straight, I should say. But from my start into my approach, it's going to be a straight line. But the line is going to lead me into an angle as I go into the barrel that's going to help me lead this barrel close and tight, because this is literally where my second barrel starts. Yesterday in the barrel race, there were several hit barrels. You're going to see 2 cones that we placed on the back side. Be it from our rate point to our finish point, it's going to take some riding. So it's not just luck, how fast can I turn the barrel? It's putting together skills to ride to your rate point, turn point, and finish point. So at this point, look at the cone across on the fence. There's a green cone. Raise your hand right there and show me that cone's right in front of you. So I want to train my eye where I'm not watching the barrels, because my goal is where I look at Stormy is right where my horse's feet are going to travel. And this third barrel gets to be a little precarious because there's a transition coming to the third barrel, and only the third barrel, that we don't see at the first and second. The first barrel I can ride straight to my point where I want to turn. My second barrel I can ride straight to my point where I want to turn. But I can't get to this point to turn without making a transition. Straight from the second barrel would tell me this horse's tail needs to aim right where I left the second barrel. But where I want to turn it, the tail is aimed to the gate. Ever so slight readjustment in position that needs to be taken place to be able to get your good, effective turn. So the more handleable you can get your horses, the easier it is to get into those positions. Now I'm going to work on a no start, no stop pattern. So I'm going to ride to the fence, and then I'm going to pick a point, because I always want to train my eye. There's a horse fair cone up on the fence, so I see that Midwest, and I'm going to go right back on my little training square right here. And I like to practice that the first cones always say slow down. So actually I'm approaching the circle with 4 straight lines, which is going to help me as I go to my barrels, and 4 soft corners. And where I look now is where I want my horse's feet to end up. Now, where am I riding? Now, where am I riding? Now. So that takes a training, because it's just so easy to want to look at those barrels all the time. And if we train our horses to respond to our body presence and our eye, then if we're watching the barrel, odds are we're going to hit it. Nice straight line from my start into my approach. I see Stormy. Now I'm going to shorten my range of vision to where I want to rate. Stormy's standing there to remind me that in my pregame planning, I've already walked in or ridden into this arena to find my start, how am I going to get it up to the first barrel. And all it is duplicating the same practice that I do every day at the house. Once I select my start and the amount of room I'm going to give at my first barrel, which is called a pocket, then I'm going to look up the arena and I see 2 speakers. So that would be a really good visual when I start my race to find the speakers, ride towards those speakers, straight line, and then about 3/4 of the way up into the first barrel, then I'm going to look and see where my rate point is. And I know what my rate point is because I practice it at the house. All it is duplicating what I practice at the house. And the rate is shortening the horse's stride. It's not really a stop. So in dressage, we would call it a half halt. In working cattle, we would call it reining. Our goal is to long stride across the pin and short stride for the preparation and the application of the turn. So we want to be able to extend and collect. Our horses need to be adjustable. Okay, approach, rate, and let's talk about the turn. Good balanced body position. Look where you're riding. Find your point, the speakers over Stormy's shoulder. Extension, shorten stride, and now I'm going to shift my weight in my outside stirrup, and I'm going to feel my inside seat bone heavy, just like you practiced a little earlier. My inside seat bone is heavy, weight in my outside stirrup, right shoulder comes back, so the center of my chest absolutely mirrors the center of my horse's chest, and where I look is where I want that horse to go. Long, nice stride. Now, last night in the barrel race, there were some second barrels hit. This is a tight little pattern. 13.6 was the fast time. You don't get a lot of time to think, so you better apply your muscle memory with good practice. But the second barrel comes up awfully quick, and it's backed by a wall. The first barrel is always open-ended. You need to get your rate and your collection, no matter what the size or how fast the times are. First barrel is always open without a fence behind it. Make sure you get your rate because it's your money barrel and it's going to set your timing for the rest of your race. The second barrel, if it's backed up against the wall, the horse is already looking at that wall. He knows he doesn't want to run into it. So if we go to the horn too early on the second barrel, we're going to probably move in and hit it. So I'm not even rating until my leg is about up to that second barrel. Now the third barrel, again, we're going to ride into position, feel our rate, weight in the outside stirrup. Here's where I'm going to go to the saddle horn. Right, 2 hands up, 2 hands rate, 2 hands into position. Now is when I'm going to hold myself down in that saddle, hold that saddle horn a couple of strides away before I can regain my balance, right girls? So what I want to do is make sure that when I'm trotting, I practice my sitting trot and my posting trot, which will give me a chance to extend and collect my stride. And when I'm posting at an extended trot, I want my correct diagonal, which a diagonal to a trot is a similar balance position as a correct lead is to a lope. Right turn, right lead. And I want to take this outside rein, which is going to help me ride that horse's shoulder. This is an event that's judged by a stopwatch. We clock it in 1,000th of a second. And every forward fast stride makes a difference. So if I'm riding with a lot of inside rein, and I'm getting this lateral movement that you see in a lot of barrel patterns, your time's going to reflect that, and it's going to be a lot slower. Not to mention, too much lateral movement causes you to drop a lead, just like I did there. So I like to ride two-handed. Inside rein tells me which direction I'm going to go, and the outside rein helps me keep this horse's shoulder underneath me for a nice straight forward movement. So, front end controlled by the reins. The rib cage is controlled by the leg, and I want a soft rib because this is what I want to wrap around the barrel. This little horse is trying to cut in with me a little bit, so I'm just bumping with my inside leg to soften the rib cage and make sure this horse is traveling right on the circle. What I do here is going to definitely carry through to what I do on the barrel pattern. Long stride, short stride. Wait the outside stirrup, go to the saddle horn, right across the back side. Long stride, short stride, back side of the barrel. Watch Stormy think. Parallel the barrel, short stride, right across. Go to the saddle horn and leave. Looks easy, doesn't it?
The horse has a lot of experience.
Ride a better horse than you are. Good horses always make you look like you know what you're doing. So when you're ready, honey, let's take him over to the start point. And we're just going to ride through. And these are the runs that we like to duplicate. We work our horses slow, medium, and fast. We want to know just exactly what to expect at that high rate of speed. And if we can't get it at a low speed, then we're not going to get it going faster. Stormy asking for a simple lead change because we want to make this fun. And so many times the barrels get, oh gosh, very apprehensive to a horse and intimidating. So we want to make sure that the things we ask a horse to do that we have control of, like transitions and lead changes, that we make it easy. Can this horse make a flying lead change? Absolutely. But it also gives us a chance to be able to transition down to the trot and back to a lope. So in our practice, 90% of the time, we're breaking our horse down to get simple lead changes. Now, Stormy, if you'll go through again, I want to show them the room that we're giving in our training on the back side of the barrel, and that would be from the barrel to the wall. Sit right, ride, and look at that much room. Now, if we were in a race, that's going to cost us probably 3 or 4/10 of a second. But in all of our practices, we like to work that distance on the back side because it allows our horse to get those even footfalls. His rate, he gets up underneath himself, he makes another stride, and rides across the back side. So the greener the horse, the more room we're going to give on the back side. And Stormy, I'm going to ask you to go through one more time because strides are important. And we want to learn to ride the stride. 6, 7, 8, 9, sit, rate. Let's see how many strides going across. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the rate, sit, collect. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sit, rate, collect. So you should be thinking about the stride, learning to ride the stride. That just helps you with your rhythm and timing, and it keeps your mind focused on your job at hand.